Is there anything as idealized as small-town life? For many people, the white picket fences, friendly neighbors, and Main Street lined with quaint mom-and-pop shops paint the perfect picture of the American dream. But in reality, small towns aren't immune to problems. In fact, some are just as threatening as bigger cities. Today, we will tell you about the top 10 most violent small towns in the USA. Number 10. Monroe, Louisiana. No matter what list you look at, Monroe is almost always ranked the most dangerous city in the United States. If not, it always ranks in the top 5. With the highest number of violent crimes in the nation, Monroe is an incredibly dangerous city to live in. Over the years, Monroe crimes have been increasing. Just since 2020, violent crimes have increased by 5%. In fact, homicides increased by 29% in 2020 alone. Although this is a lot of violent crime compared to other American cities today, the violent crime rates of Monroe are low if you compare it to historical crime rates around the nation. Number 9. Memphis, Tennessee. The only other city that comes close to beating out Monroe for the title of most dangerous U.S. city is Memphis. Unfortunately, Memphis and Monroe are typically neck to neck in terms of crime. Like Monroe, Memphis has been one of the most dangerous cities for a while. Over the last 5 years, crime has been increasing dramatically. Today, there is a 1 in 41 chance of you being a victim of a violent crime in Memphis. Likewise, there is a 1 in 17 chance of being a victim of a property crime. The name Memphis means established and beautiful, but the city certainly isn't living up to the name. Lately, the city has been crime-ridden, and it's considered very dangerous. The violent crime rate for Tennessee is 1,901 per 100,000 residents. It's a shame. The city is really an important historical place, especially for music. Even during many short visits, tourists often see the ugly side of the city. Visiting tourist sites like Elvis Presley's pad will expose you to the gritty look of an impoverished city. In fact, Graceland is one of the worst parts of the city. You'll see graffiti, littered streets, and plenty of homeless. Unfortunately, it looks like Memphis won't be getting any safer anytime soon. The rise in crime continues into 2020, and it's elevated 24.3% compared to 2019. Number 8. Detroit, Michigan. In comparison to Monroe, Detroit is a much more known city. For years, Detroit has been one of the most violent cities in the nation. As a result, there has been a lot of effort to make Detroit safer over the years, but the effort has not been successful yet. Hopefully, safety efforts will become effective and make Detroit a safer city to live in during a future period. Flying in at number 1 with ease, a city that needs no introduction because almost everyone associates it with a crime. From depictions of 8 Mile by Eminem to Gran Torino, even Hollywood doesn't give this gritty town a break. Its industrial collapse is mainly the cause. Detroit is infamous for crime and was once deemed as the most dangerous city in the country. That being said, Detroit is still incredibly dangerous. The city has a population of 672,662 and sees 42,535 total crimes every year. There are 13,511 reported violent crimes and 29,024 reported property crimes. The violent crime rate per 100,000 people is 2009. This means that residents have a 1 in 50 chance of experiencing violent crimes every year. Detroit also has one of the highest murder rates in the country, with a murder rate of 39 per 100,000 people, 7 times higher than the national average. Property crime also defines Detroit as one of the most dangerous cities. With a property crime rate of 4,315 property crimes per 100,000 people, people tend to take their home security seriously in Detroit. Most homeowners use metal bars on the windows and install home security systems to protect their homes from the constant plague of burglary. Detroit is one of the worst cities to live in due to crime. However, the houses in Detroit are offered at some of the cheapest rates in the nation. At one time, Detroit was a boom town filled with factories and well-paid union employees. White picketed fence lawns were abundant, and many would have referred to the suburbs of Detroit as the American dream. The 2008 crisis cemented the city's dire times, though, and with the recession, many fled the city entirely, often under circumstances of foreclosure, leaving a swath of empty, abandoned homes. Now the city is essentially rotting away, a vat of crime and homelessness. Detroit's violent crime rate is 1,965 incidents per 100,000 residents. If you're unlucky enough to live there, you have a 1 in 51 chance of being a victim of violence. Number 7. Saginaw, Michigan. Next on our list is Saginaw. Saginaw is much smaller than Detroit, but its crime statistics are not much lower. Saginaw is only safer than 6% of other U.S. cities, notably the top 3 on our list. This makes Saginaw a relatively dangerous area to live in. Your chances of being a victim of a violent crime in the city are 1 in 42. To put that in perspective, the chances of being a victim of a violent crime in Michigan at large is only 1 in 212. Number 6. St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is constantly ranked as one of the more dangerous cities in the country. However, the number of violent crimes in St. Louis has consistently been decreasing over the years, especially since the local government started the Downtown Safety Initiative. Crime in St. Louis has decreased slowly but surely. Today, your chances of being a victim of a violent crime in St. Louis is 1 in 50. In comparison, the chances of being made a victim of a property crime is 1 in 17. Crime has been on a steady climb in St. Louis from the 1960s through the early 1990s. Much of the violent crime occurs in one part of the city. Close to 2/3 or 67% of all murders happened in a small triangular region in North St. Louis. The triangular hotspot of violent crime is bordered by Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, Goodfellow Boulevard, West Florissant Avenue, and Vanderventer Avenue. That's an absolute no-go zone, very dangerous. The violent crime rate for St. Louis is 1,927 per 100,000 people, and your chance of being a victim of a violent crime is 1 in 52. That's a terrible probability, and it says a lot about just how dangerous the city is. And the unfortunate effects of the rampant crime have been a fleeing of residents to the burbs. St. Louis once was a thriving place with over 850,000 residents living downtown in the 1950s. Now, there are 300,000 left. Once beautiful homes of downtown are now left to deteriorate. Number 5. Little Rock, Arkansas. The crime rate in Little Rock is much higher than the national average. Shockingly, Little Rock's crime rates are about 186% higher than the nation's average. Violent crime specifically is 377% higher. Still, you're much more likely to become the victim of a property crime than a violent crime in Little Rock. This is the same no matter where you are in the country. Number 4. Alexandria, Louisiana. Much like Saginaw, Alexandria proves that a lot of violent crime can happen in small cities, not just large cities. The most dangerous part of Alexandria is in the metro area. This makes sense, given that there are more people in the metro. In Alexandria, both violent and property crime is high. The U.S. average violent crime is 22.7, but it is 83.8 in Alexandria. Likewise, the U.S. average for property crime is 35.4, but it is 95.4 in this city. Number 3. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Even though Pine Bluff is not the first small town on our list, this town is consistently referred to as the most dangerous small town in the United States. This little farming community is often compared to Detroit for its high amount of crime. Generally speaking, the southwest area of Pine Bluff, Arkansas is considered the most dangerous. Just like every other city on this list, the property crime rate is much higher in Pine Bluff than violent crime. Number 2, South Bend, Indiana. The fourth largest city in Indiana, the crime rates across the board here are about twice the state average. Robberies are exceptionally high, with 261.9 taking place per year per 100,000 people. Property crime rates are also high, with more than 4,200 taking place per year per 100,000 people. South Bend is considered one of the most dangerous cities in terms of homicides. That's because this city has one of the highest murder rates in the country. The national average for homicide is 6.5 for every 100,000 people. In this Indiana town, there are about 27.4 murders for every 100,000 people. This shows just how dangerous South Bend is. Number 1, Albany, Georgia. The last most dangerous city in the United States is Albany, Georgia. In 2020 alone, almost 1,500 violent crimes were reported in the metro area. As a result, the crime rate for this city is 161% higher than the national average. In Albany, you have a 1 in 22 chance of being a victim of a property crime. In comparison, you have a 1 in 56 chance of being the victim of a violent crime in the same area. Do let us know in the comments if you have ever been to any of these places. Please subscribe to Travel the World. Thanks for watching.